Good morning, welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning, Sunday morning. 2 days left of the transfer window in its current little format before it closes for around about a week. And will Celtic ultimately get anyone in between now and Tuesday? They are trying, we've got to say that, they are trying. There's been suggestions that we have placed bids for players. But whether it happens before it closes on Tuesday for a brief little respite remains to be seen. It does remain to be seen. But there's one ex-Celtic manager who says he wants to bring a player with him to East End Park. Yes, Lenny wants to repeat what he did at Celtic. He wants to bring through young players, but he also says he's going to have a word with James Forrest, and the player that he gave his first game to all those years ago. He says, I told James to go into the pitch and do one thing, and that was take on players. Just run at players all day long. Did he start barking? What is it? No. He just run at players, and that's what James has done most of his career, and he says he's still got it. In fact, I'm going to have a word with him and see if he would like to come to Dunfermline with me. We know he won't, but it is silly season, isn't it? It is silly season, with the reports that Celtic are looking at a pretty impressive midfield player. It'll be interesting to see if anything happens with that. Other than that, it's just the same old. There's nothing changed over the last couple of days, really, with Celtic transfer news. And it is all starting to talk about players who are not wanted by the clubs that they were sent out on loan to, which must be a worry for Brendan Rodgers, knowing that he's going to have a bunch of players heading back to Celtic Park in a couple of weeks' time. I'm just reading some of the comments this morning. Jesus, you're off your head. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one because Brendan Rodgers obviously doesn't fancy quite a lot of the players that were sent out on loan, and they're going to come back. So, do you think that James Forrest will go to Dunfermline? No, he won't, will he? As much as Neil Lennon does want the player, he's not going to leave Celtic. He's going to finish his career at Celtic, and I think that Celtic will then give him a position in-house. A bit like what he did. I mean, Lennon finished his career at Celtic, and then he got a job with Celtic. He never really left. So, it's an interesting one. Other than that, Lewis Palmer's been talking about what he struggled with at Celtic. Greg Taylor, he's been given an ultimatum by the Greek team that's after him. They said, tell us before we start back to pre-training or pre-season training, or the deal is off. The deal is off. I just think that the whole Greg Taylor one is just an absolutely bizarre situation. Anyway, let's jump into the chat this morning and see who's on. He's not leaving no chance, says Richard's talking about Forrest. Liam says that Forrest is a true Celtic man, one club man, 100%. If James is to leave, I think he would go to Ayr, be closer to his family. Maybe. But does it really matter? I mean, Scotland's not exactly... I mean, you can get from Ayr to Dunfermline in an hour. An hour's back and forward every day is nothing, is it, in this day and age? Taylor will sign a new deal. Watch this space, says Scott. If he signs a new deal at Celtic, is that really us going forward? Taylor is staying. Where did you get this information from? Is it you're just clutching at straws? Brendan Rodgers said before the end of the season that it's only going to go one way, and if it gets to the end of the season and he's not signed a new deal, and Celtic are currently actively looking for left backs, there's no way is Taylor staying. So you're throwing. It's a case of at this time of the pre-season, isn't it? If you throw enough mud, some of it's bound to stick. And I think that's basically what's happened with the transfer situation at the moment. But anyway, we move on from Greg Taylor, because let's face it, he's not signing a new contract. Not a chance. If he signs a new contract, it's never going to happen. Anyway, one of the funnier stories, you could tell it's a really slow news day when it comes to Celtic, when Snoop Dogg, Snoop Doggy Dog, he's always got an affiliation and a love for Celtic, but Snoop Dogg, rather than buy the club like he said he was going to do, he's going to open up a burger bar. He wants to open up a burger bar at Celtic Park. He wants to personally serve up cheese, bacon, beef burgers to fans at Celtic Park. Snoop Dogg has plans to open up a burger bar at Celtic Park. I don't know how Celtic would feel about that. It's interesting. They said in an interview with the Sunday Mail, he says there's always been an opinion that food in sports stadiums, but it's not got to be the case. He said it doesn't need to be bad food. I want to open up a burger bar at Celtic. He's just fucking. What age is Snoop Dogg now? He must be about 60 odd, isn't he? I mean, he's an old geezer. He fits in well with this channel. We should get him a gig on here. People know that Snoop is a crook and would love to bring Pop Burger to the sports stadium and show fans that food at sports stadiums can be fantastic. Where else am I going to bring it to? It's got to be Celtic Park, man. Fucking Jesus. There's no way Snoop Dogg only 53. That's a heavy paper round. It just shows you that smoking dope and everything just doesn't age you well at all, does it? There's no danger. Snoop Dogg can't be 53. He is! Jesus Christ! Fucking hell, you've had a heavy paper run, mate. All that marijuana and cocaine up your nose just hasn't done you any time at all, is it? It's there you go. Snoop Dogg's 53. Bonkers. Absolute bonkers. Dr. Dre's 60. Eminem's 52. God. Where did my life go wrong? Age is just a number, Baz. Hash burgers, yeah. Yeah, he was born in 71, like you. Yeah, I just googled it. So yeah. Richard says, don't care whether Taylor stays or goes. I think he would be better in midfield. There's no chance. Greg Taylor's not a midfield. Right, he's not a midfield maestro, is he? Who would Greg Taylor replace in the midfield? And he's not going to. There's no chance of Celtic going to keep Taylor and put him in midfield. He's not what we need in midfield. He's not a commanding, bullying Scott Brown, is he? I mean, it's wee Greg Taylor. Baz, does that make you feel old? No, really. He's the same. He's a year older than me. He's a year older than me, so. Greg Taylor started off as centre mid. Yeah, he obviously wasn't very good because then he got pushed out to wide left back. He should have been left back a long time ago. Left back on the transfer market and sold for £3 million. Scott says we badly need a striker of class. Is 20 goals a season from Adam Eden not class enough? A gust of wind blows Taylor over. Yeah, pretty much. I still think that. I mean, what type of striker do we go for? We've got Adam Ida who plays a certain way. You've got Johnny Kenny who plays a similar way to Adam Ida, but he needs to beef himself up a bit. I think do we go for another Kyogo, Lee Griffiths type striker? Or do we go tough up top and a Hearts and Sutton type of player that can throw their weight a bit? Because let's face it, the defenders in the SPFL They're all, the majority of them are over 6 foot. Big 6 foot defenders, bully boys. Nothing good about their football styles, just total thugs of the game, you could say. That just go in hard, and I mean, how many times was Kyogo pushed over? How many times did the shoulder charge Kyogo off the ball when he was going to make his runs? You know, that's old school football. It's not really the modern, classy football, is it? I mean, some of Scottish defenders are stuck in the dark ages, but then that comes down to the way that managers are training them and telling them to play. So, do we go for a Lee Griffiths type striker with that bit of pace, a Kyogo with a bit of pace running off the back line? Or do we go for a big, bulky, hefty striker that can throw his weight about in the SPFL and not get bullied off the ball? It's an interesting one. You think that Maida will stay? Nope. I've said since last season I think he'll be sold. I think that the 8.75 million from Fenerbahce was just testing the water. You always get bids like this for players, and people will say, oh, he's worth way more. He's not, because of his age. If he was worth more, Celtic would have sold him a long time ago. But I still think he'll be sold. Teams will target KT next season because they know he's got leg problems. I don't think that his leg problems have been from his own over enthusiasm. I mean, it's been hamstrings and stuff, and that's running at pace that does that. That's no bad tackles. Kieran Tierney's never really been out with a bad tackle, has he? It's always been hamstrings and calves, and you know. But it'll be interesting, and it'll be interesting to see if Kieran Tierney still has the pace that he had when he was at Celtic the first time. Because let's face it, he did have a good bit of pace and he was able to whip balls in. Can he still do that? It's Scottish football, it's not the English Premiership, is it? He'll be able to get past the majority of midfielders and such like in Scottish football. Like he says, teams in Turkey like to punt in low offers so they can give players a big wage rather than spending 15 million on a player. I still don't think that we'll sell him for cheap. I still think we'll get the 20 odd million we want for him. If we sell Maida, Hatate and Kuhn, that's a hell of a rebuild. Yep. Scott, we've been saying it since the end of last summer. I've been saying it since last season. I said the December, watch out for this summer, because those were the three players that have value to Celtic. But Rio Hatate and Daizen Maida's been at the club for 4 years. It's very unlikely in the modern day that they'll stay for the 7 years like what Henrik Larsson did. It's very, very unlikely in the modern game. We badly need another left back as backup. Yeah, the Celtic are working on that. They are working on that with a couple of younger prospects. Let's face it, Brendan Rodgers will have his signings picked. It's all about if they fit the financial model. This is true. I'll sneeze. Ah, Jesus. Oh, I had to quieten that one. Anyway, 20 million is nothing in the English Premiership. Yeah, Lennoxtown should have first team ready left back. I've spoke about this all summer, all season. It's the B team is just a mess, isn't it? If Dyson goes, it will be why would we let the main winners go? Jota's injured. We need to spend more than 30 million for this position. I think we need to spend 30 million just to bring in the players to improve the team, Lanky. I think we need to bring in 30 million just to improve the team. I mean, that mob across the road are saying that they're going to spend 20 million on players, but I can't see it. Henrik should have been out the door after Barnes' season if he had broke his leg. It was the luckiest leg break in football history. Do you think so? Do you think Celtic would have sold him? Maybe it is. I think tonight's the night that Martin O'Neill and Henrik Larsson meet up again in Celtic. Their kitty will be about 12 million. Who cares? Who cares? It's all about what Celtic do. It was definitely lucky for us. It was lucky for us. But then again, after that, Mo, he turned down the chance to move to Manchester United for 15 million. So he had his opportunity after the leg break. He had his opportunity after the leg break to leave Celtic. After Seville. He had the chance after Seville to leave Celtic for 15 million to go to Manchester United. Fergie. So there we go. Anyway, it's going to be a long one this morning, isn't it? Nope. There's not really a lot going on in this morning. What players would you like to see leave Celtic? What players would you like to see leave Celtic this summer? Yeah, the chat's totally dropped off. For me, when you look at the squad, when you look at the players that are there at the moment, the reason that we need to get players in is because we're really short. And when you look at that team, they've still who does the Celtic website? Because they've still got Scott Bain on it. Scott Bain's left Celtic. Jeffrey Sloop, he's left Celtic. Greg Taylor, well, he's left, but he's still kicking around, isn't he? I'm going to sneeze again. It's going to be one of those mornings. Dermot Desmond put a stop to it. Well, there you go. Why not? Welsh? Yeah, I see Welsh go. Taylor, says Dave Morton. Dave says Kuhn. Interesting. Sign Leighton Clarkson. Really? Can we not do better than that? Oh. I wonder if we can make a player out of Palmer. Nope. He'll be gone. The issue with Palmer is he holds onto the ball too long, and he's not the type of player that plays with pace. And I don't think he interacts well with the fullbacks. He just doesn't seem to be that kind of player. Anytime that Palmer did get the ball, he's not one that interacts well with the fullbacks. Does overlapping runs and stuff, and he always tries to get to the edge of the box, and he keeps the ball too long. He's a bit like what Nico Kuhn was the first half season that he was here. But Palmer keeps it too long, and he tries to do everything himself. Tries to make it that he's a superstar, and I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, he's proven that he's not a superstar, or it would have been kept. And the Greek team, even the Greek team, don't want him. So, what is it? You're joking. Right, okay. Right, anyway. Palmer could flourish another club, English Championship level. He's certainly not Celtic level. He's had his chance. Palmer looks like a salsa dancer. Yeah, he does that, doesn't he? Anyway, I need to go. Done and dusted for this morning. Thank you for everyone who's jumped along. Apologies that I need to cut this one short, but something's cropped up. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.